Legion play, Josh. They play with the outside backs. You know, they want to move their wing backs into the system. You want to pin them back. You want to remove them from the equation. At the same point in time, a play on words backless, you want your outside backs to be really high.
And we are underway tonight from Lynn Family Stadium as Birmingham Legion starts off in possession, attacking right to left. These two teams have already faced off once this season. They played to a 1-1 draw here at the beginning of May. It was an early goal coming from Pat McMahon, then some penalty controversy, but Birmingham was able to find that equalizer, and the points were shared on the night. And since then, both these teams have really started to turn it on. LouCity comes in at 3-2-1. Birmingham at 5-2-1. We talked about in the open that change of shape for this Birmingham side. We'll get to that in a moment as LouCity comes into the attack. And an early save coming from Matt Van Oekel, his hat and all.
Smartly done by Cameron Lancaster here. Understands that the goalkeeper going to be dealing with the sun and the shadows. And as he pulls this back across, notice the recognition by Cronali. Sees the overlapping run by Masoso, but Zach Harivo doesn't step up into that space. Remember, Zach Harivo, holding midfielder by trade, sort of a secret weapon for this team. Had the ability to move them all over in between that back three. Big responsibility tonight.
The Vivify Wellness Club corner kick as this is sent in to the back post. Bouncing around the box, still in there. Tosh. And finally, it's cleared away. Here's Gómez on the ball. Another cross fired in. Kavita there to clear it away. It was an early goal that McMahon scored off a corner kick the first time these two teams played. And already LouCity starting out on the front foot. LouCity just passing it around the back, looking for that opportunity to come forward. Jonathan Gómez to be picked up in the middle. McCabe going right through Harivo. This will be a foul. Going back the other way. Tonight's referee is Lucas Spalla.
Just a late little follow through here at the tail end of things for LouCity. Now McCabe, the conversation with our referee on the challenge against Zach Harivo. They cannot afford to lose another player. Birmingham Legion. Ben Ofemu went down 10-15 minutes into last time out against OKC Energy FC, and they were already scrambling. Just talked about Harivo and how he has the ability to play so many different roles for this team. Not just positions, Josh, but actual roles. The responsibilities change. Leadership capability, and the two guys just getting tangled up here. Definitely a cause for concern for Thompson.
A chance for Danny Cruz to huddle his team around and change a few things here from the opening few minutes. May have been the more dangerous of the two sides. It looks like they're looking at that right ankle of Zach Harivo. It looked like that was the one that kind of turned as the tackle came in. Here's another look at it.
Just watch the flailing leg. So the ball gets away from Niall McCabe a little bit here, and he definitely gets a touch on the ball. The problem is his studs on that right foot follow through on the ankle of Zach Harivo. Noticeable limp already. And they are not very deep at the center back positions, Josh. You and I were talking about before we came on air.
This portion of tonight's game is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places.
That's got to be the biggest I don't want to say issue. Let's phrase it another way. It is the Achilles heel of this squad right now, as well as they're playing in terms of results. The product in general still needs to make quite a few strides. The way that they play, though, with the big, bruising, tall center backs, you lose Ben Ofemu, so you pull your holding midfielder Haribo onto the back line. You lose him, you don't have another center back. Now, Ben Ofemu's on the bench tonight, so that's good. But even in that equation, they really only run 3 deep. Haribo is an option, for sure. The hopes is that they're going to have the ability to bring one of their loanees, Freddie Kleeman, back. Of course, the draftee by Austin within MLS, coming out of Washington with the Huskies. They've got their own issues as well, as my partner just throws a little fist pump in the air. Little local love for the Huskies, huh?
Yeah, 206.
How does that work out if you're an Indiana grad? And have they ever played in any sport? Absolutely.
Actually,
recently, right?
They played in basketball. One of the first sporting events I ever went to was a football game between Indiana and Washington.
Indiana got smacked.
They did, but that's all right. That's all right. It all comes full circle in the end. A chance for Birmingham to look upfield, and there's that pocket of space ahead of that midfield 4, if you will, with the wingbacks. We were talking before the game. Who fills that role?
Well, it's filled by a couple different players, and what you're going to see is Junior Flemings. There's a little pinch inside. He was asked to play a different role, not just in the OKC game, but his role within this squad in general so far. Remember, they're still getting him back up to full pace. Had to finish off his suspension at the beginning of the year, and you don't just come back in, Josh, off of training and be up to par with everybody else. So he'll tuck in a little bit more. JJ Williams will come inside, but at some point in time, you're gonna need Kobayashi or Asiadu to step in. Heck of a challenge by Kobayashi, by the way, and help fill the gap. Nico Brett will drop in as a false 9 as well.
As Fleming sends this upfield, and it's headed back for Chris Hubbard, who's only had to make 8 saves on the season so far. Usually opposition coaches like to say, let's make the goalkeeper work. Against LouCity this year, that really has not been the case. And to further that, in losses against Atlanta and Indy, Louisville outshot their opponents 42-11, but came up on the wrong side of both of those score lines. They were outscored 3-1 in those 2 matches. Some pressure here at the back. Tosh has to play out. He gives it away. Kobayashi playing this forward. It's Junior Flemings. Couldn't get it back for Brett. A red jersey there to keep this alive, and Hubbard is called into action and makes a tremendous save.
Daigo Kobayashi had Wheaties this morning. How busy has he been 8 minutes into this match? Box-to-box midfielder is an overly used term, but the way that he has played so far catches this thing beyond clean. Glory written in the upper corner with a magnificent save by Hubbard.
And he'll stand over this corner kick as well. He drives this in, player going down. The referee says play on. As Birmingham keep this alive. Dean sends this in, Tosh up to meet it and cleared away. And Dean is there again to keep this alive for Birmingham Legion. Williams in the middle. Williams couldn't touch that, and it falls for Hubbard.
Hope he brought an energy drink. This is, woo. It's not frantic, it's not fast-paced. We've been shot out of a cannon here. These boys are ready to play.
I don't mind it.
No, not at all.
You ready to go?
Yeah, you know, the pleasantries that are usually, let's feel this out a little bit, let's see what the sun's like, who wants to be up-tempo. Nobody got that memo.
Well, and coming into this game, Danny Cruz said to the local media this week he thought it'd be a chess match in the early going, as last time these two teams played, there was a bit of a system change as we've been talking about. That's Fanuel Kavita getting back to his feet. So Danny Cruz thought it might take a little bit to feel each other out. I'd say no to that. There's Harivo. Gibson trying to keep this alive, and does. Here's McCabe. Niall McCabe making his 150th LouCity appearance with his start today in his 7th season with the club. Playing this out wide. It's Akil Watts who's getting into the attack. Watts' cross coming in. Harivo there to meet it. And this is out for another corner kick. It's a Vivify corner kick coming for LouCity once more.
Sponsors are getting their money's worth.
Sure are.
It's 3 in the first 11 minutes. I'd like to think that math is right.
I think you're right. I think we're on the same page there. Close enough. Gómez will send this in, back post. It was headed away. Asiadu now. And gives it right back. Gómez cutting in field. Shot comes on. It's blocked down. Another player down here for Birmingham Legion. That's J.J. Williams.
Just checking on the pregame meal. Mac and cheese, that's too heavy.
A little chicken rice.
Definitely protein of some sort.
Yeah.
I was always a fish guy, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah.
That was your go-to?
Chicken, usually you run less of a risk, but for me, I just, you know, people think fish and it's a leaner protein, but it actually depends on the fish compared to chicken, for sure. And I'm not a salmon guy, so.
Oh, that's my fish of choice. So Williams back on his feet, and the drop ball to Van Oekel. And he has quite the battle in this first half, not only against this very strong LouCity front attack, but he's also battling the sun, which is setting right in his eyes, and that's why he's elected to wear the ball cap. Now Piccolo keeps this alive. Now Gómez. Piccolo again. This will run through for Van Oekel, who had a tremendous save to preserve the point last time these two teams met in May.
I've gotten the opportunity to cover Matt Van Oekel for quite some time. I don't think I've ever seen him wear a hat.
I feel like you just don't see that like very often regardless.
You see it more here now.
Do you?
Yeah, just because of the way that the sun hits, and
okay.
I mean, you're literally chasing shadows at this point in time.
Oh, here you mean at this stadium specifically?
Yeah, not the league, the here.
Okay, okay. I don't know what the here was.
No, it's levels. It's divisional specific. Well, you are expecting this at some point in time to just tone itself down a little bit, right? And the amount that they're willing to be wide open. There's a little bit of the tweak that I talked about. You get, if you're Birmingham Legion, the luxury on left and right, respectively. Mikey Lopez, Johnny Dean, they can pivot this 3 and easily turn it into 4, but then continue to apply pressure on the outside. The middle, and you picked it out right away, Josh, is going to be the factor here with Kobayashi and Asiadu.
Dean, long cross coming in. Flemings was there at the back post. It's knocked away by Masoso. Gómez getting in there defensively, but then given right back. Maybe the fast start shouldn't be seen as too much of a surprise, and I know we were talking about this before. Expected goals is becoming a bigger and bigger stat just around soccer in general, and American Soccer Analysis has these two teams in the top 4 of expected goals for so far this season in the USL Championship, even though in 8 games played, Birmingham has only scored 9 goals.
You know, it's the offensive side that I talked about, Josh, where even during this positive run of form, 4 games on the bounce for Birmingham Legion, have not lost since that 2-1 victory on the road on May 22nd at San Antonio FC in Toyota Field. More impressively, the fact that they've also only given up 2 goals in that 4-game span. Defensively, this team hasn't had an issue at all, as long as they can remain healthy. Can they get everyone going into the final third? You get Birmingham Legion on the road, defensive-minded LouCity when they want to be. They want to control the tempo, knock this ball around. You get Junior Flemings back in the lineup. Nico Brett starting to bag goals left and right. Is Bruno Lapa going to now take that next step in the midfield? Rotation tonight. A little surprised that they didn't include Lapa there. Remember, lots of games to come for Birmingham Legion. In the next couple of days, they will host Austin Bold Saturday the 19th. So 3 days rest game, 2 days rest game. Not an easy one.
And this is cleared away, and this portion of tonight's game brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. Speaking of going places, Louisville's going to be doing a lot of that come the latter half of the season. It is a home-heavy first part of the schedule, but as the schedule kind of turns over that month of September, they only have 1 home game. As this is slipped through, a bit awkward there at the back by Suahi, but Tosh was there to cover. His clearance only as far as Williams. Asiadu. Lopez. Kavita very patient. A chance for a couple St. Louis FC players to go head-to-head tonight with Kyle Gregg if he gets on tonight up against Fanuel Kavita. Switch of play, Lopez. Cross back post! An acrobatic attempt at that one, and looked like Kobayashi was crashing in, and it's out for a goal kick.
Excellent patience from Birmingham Legion, moving this side to side, and Louisville City looked to be content to sit back and allow this to develop. The problem is that 40-yard ball that comes all the way square across the field, Josh, enables the space to open up for Likey Lopez, and what happens is Louisville City immediately, as they start to shift, Kobayashi, and that 21 years as a professional, all of that experience, recognizes there's going to be an imbalance on the back post, just peels off, can't connect. But great idea management from Legion.
Asiadu going to ground and winning it back and getting it out to the far side. Johnny Dean will slow things up for Kobayashi. He tries to clip this in behind. It'll run through for Hubbard. Well, since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. Tosh looking for that long switch of play. And it does come off. Very well done. And now a cross coming in. Stabbed out of play by Cronale. Watts has it blocked down. Masoso keeps this alive. And Watts able to find some space, and Harivo stretching out to cut off the avenue to pass that ball in behind. A big defensive intervention there. Nasidu being swarmed by purple shirts, and a whistle and a foul.
It's going to be a difficult one for Louisville City. The swarm that is Niall McCabe, Akil Watts, and Napo Masoso do a great job closing the space down. The problem is for Lucas Spalla, feels like there's a bit too much hands-on interaction. There was one on the first side. The second one, to be fair, he's leaning a little bit, and you actually have to backtrack this about 5 seconds to understand where the initial foul came from. Didn't like the progression, but the counter press by LouCity now in full effect over the past 2 or 3 minutes.
And Lopez getting back to his feet, but pounding the grass before he did. We'll get a bit of a talking to. It looks like Lucas Spalla wants to have a conversation.
This was always an annoying one as a player, where you know you've gotten yourself into trouble. You just want to be left alone. Back up, I get it, I was wrong. And it's like a teacher that wants to scorn you for the fact that you didn't study for this test, and they want to embarrass you in front of the entire class. You step away, bring you all the way back over.
You're already going back into position.
Yes, I'm ready to play. Like it's the furthest thought from my mind, and yet for some reason you have to keep reminding me of it.
Another good ball from Tosh to find the space on the left. Played him behind. Gómez, his cross, blocked down. He gets another chance. Another ball coming in, headed away by Kavita. Now Piccolo. Lancaster might fall for McCabe. Del Piccolo, Lancaster going down, edge of the area. Ref says play on. And is he calling this a dive? Oh no, now a free kick. The AR must have said something in his ear. It looked like he made the hand motion of a dive. This will be an interesting replay.
Super close. It looked like it was outside the box. I know a lot of LouCity faithful are going to be unhappy, but watch where the contact occurs. Right there. It is outside the box. This is the right decision. The initial confrontation, look at the foot right there. It's outside the top of the 18. That angle is much more difficult to see, and now he's in.
Penalty.
I got to tell you, this looks like he picks his foot right at the top of the 18, just outside of it.
Now this is maybe a question for referee experts, but there's that plane of the 18-yard box that goes straight up.
And watch right here. Watch the right foot on the contact to see it right there. And then he comes. The initial contact is outside the 18.
So my question to you is, if he's leaning over, and now some monkey business here. Remember, to the last matchup these two teams played, and a yellow card will be issued. There was a similar penalty confrontation. That was in between penalty takes for Birmingham after Hubbard had come off the line after he made the initial save. And McCabe has been given a yellow card. And after all of that, Lancaster will step to the spot. Looks like Van Oekel has lost the hat for this one. Cameron Lancaster, he scored a penalty kick on Saturday, and he scores a penalty kick tonight as well. It's 1-0 to LouCity after all of that.
293 minutes. The gap between his first goal and his second. Not that long this time around, is it? Good penalty by Cameron Lancaster. Really good penalty. Open foot the entire time, brings it back across his body. Van Oekel reads the same thing that I would have done. I would have come to my left. Lancaster, so efficient from the penalty mark. Excellent PK.
And that goal is presented by Kentucky Lottery. Fueling imagination, funding education, Kentucky Lottery. Well, that is no doubt a controversial moment, and one that we could look back upon as this game continues. The initial call was a free kick outside the ball. Sorry, let's back up even farther.
Yeah.
There was no initial call.
He thought he was diving to begin with.
And that's also a Vivify yellow card issued to Niall McCabe. So originally, the referee called it clean. He got something in his ear from the AR that said that was a foul. Then after further conversation, they awarded the penalty.
It's definitely an interesting sequence of events. And I'll say this, I give him credit for the fact that a conversation opens up.
Yes.
And you get with your AR, Luka Spala, and say, okay, let's diagnose this. It is interesting how it goes from no call to a foul to a penalty. And for me, it all goes back to the initial contact. So as Lancaster comes across his body, there's a challenge on the right foot of Asiadu. Watch right here as he steps in. Boom, right there. The right foot gets hit, the second one. So the only thing that I can assume here, Josh, and it is an assumption, is that the referee and the linesman can have the view obstructed given the amount of bodies that were in their way. They don't see the first contact on the right foot, and they see the second one, which is just inside the top of the 18.
And this is definitely one that's up to interpretation. I've seen in the past, just seeing plays similar to that. Sometimes, as advantage is being played, sometimes they'll let the play go on, but usually they bring it back to then outside the box. So this will be a real interesting one. I know you have some referee friends. That might be one to take a look at.
I'm banking this one, and I'm shipping it off at halftime. And, all right, boys, time to go to work. Help make my job a little bit easier.
Here comes LouCity forward again. Masoso. McCabe. Gibson. Out wide for McCabe again. Deflected, crossed right in front and put in. But the flag is up for offside. Lancaster nearly with a second. Birmingham quick to put that back into play, and this portion of tonight's game is brought to you by Georgia's Sweet Potato Pie Company, winner of Louisville City's Minority-Owned Business of the Month.
That's pretty close, but Cameron Lancaster looked like he was, as this ball initially, remember, it's the first ball, even though it does catch a deflection here, that gets played right there. That's really difficult. Fanuel Kavita on the bottom of the screen looks like he might have been in a dead heat with Cameron Lancaster, but without the appropriate angle or use of VAR, have to give the assistant referee all the credit in the world on that one. Tough to argue, Josh.
It's been a couple of close calls in that penalty area, or around the penalty area, in this opening half hour. Kobayashi ahead for Lopez, who was fouled by Watts. The USL is committed to supporting the LGBTQ+ community. Through the Forever Proud project, the USL will strive to create safe and welcoming environments for all fans, players, employees, and partners. Learn more at uslsoccer.com/forever-proud. I will say, throughout the league, there have been some fantastic pride kits that have gone around in League One and in the championship. As Hubbard has to come out and just put this out of play. Attacking third throw and coming for Birmingham. Flemings looking to play this in behind. Lopez making the run. Tosh to cut it off. Masoso. And McCabe, who was just too far out in front of him as Kavita cleans it up. This one headed forward. The flag now coming up. Nico Brett, fresh off his 6th goal of the season, goal number 50 overall against OKC Energy last time out. He's been a goal-scoring machine these past, you can call it 4 seasons now, going back to 2018 at 15 goals, 17 in 2019, 9 last year in just 17 appearances, and already 6 this season in 8 starts. And this is a free kick. Gómez going down, and the chance for LouCity to put one into the area now. It's going to be a 5th-3rd free kick.
And now McCabe, how tricky is he going to get with this? LouCity very cute in their actions from dead ball situations. Always have been. I've talked about it on games past, Josh, about how they take so much pride from set pieces because they show you so many different looks, never really tipping their hand.
Good angle at it there as it comes in, headed on, and another big save from Matt Van Oekel. Sean Tosh up to meet it, and Van Oekel to deny him. It's a Vivify corner kick coming for LouCity. Gómez to provide the in-swinger towards the near post and headed away by Williams. Quickly put back in. Masoso continued his run. And another corner kick. Pardon me, this one just a throw-in. And the flag coming up for offside.
It looked like he was standing right in front of Mikey Lopez. That was, again, it's an angles thing. But no trickery needed when you've got someone as talented as Sean Tosh willing to go up, put his body on the line, challenge the likes of Fanuel Kavita. You have to wonder why there is no pressure to him. It is a great run by Tosh, beautiful ball by Niall McCabe, but at the same point in time, center back just stops dead in his tracks, allows that space to open up, and for Tosh to get a opportunity off on target on Van Oekel.
Birmingham, no stranger to playing close matches this season. Every game has been played within a 1-goal margin, aside from, of course, that 1-1 draw against LouCity earlier this season. In some of those cases, they've gone up by a couple of goals, conceded one, and gotten that 1-goal victory. Well, some work to do tonight to get back into this one. As Flemings comes forward. Asidu, space opening up on the right. Sliding this in behind. Johnny Dean, cutting in field. Finding Asidu, back for Kobayashi. Trying to play between the lines, and it's taken away. Switch of play for Lopez. Asidu trying to find that space in behind Gómez again. Dean will get there in the corner. Kobayashi, pressure at his back. And Birmingham very patient in possession once again.
And they've got a really interesting little tell right now, Josh, if you watch. They pinch on one side. They'll bring, for instance, on the left right now, Junior Fleming's down inside to try and help out, but they lose the width. And then the long ball's on the diagonal. Doesn't have to be all the way across the field, but one of those quick dissecting balls, 20, 25 yards, is where they're finding most of their success. Louisville City picked up on it right around the 28th minute. It was just after the penalty.
Brett to the end line. Back post headers off the post. A point blank header for J.J. Williams. Denied by the woodwork.
Some of the better runs that we've seen out of Birmingham Legion all season, though. Patience was at the forefront of our conversation 10 minutes inside. You get that and more. Combination between Flemings and Nico Brett, J.J. Williams. Gotta wonder, what does he have to do? I mentioned Bruno Lapa getting going. J.J. Williams, another one. More of a distributor in 2021 so far. They need to get him going, though. Start hitting the back of the net.
A big chance there for Birmingham. Here they come again. Flemings. Always likes to cut in on that right foot. Almost fell for him again as Akil Watts came in with the initial challenge. Now Louisville a chance to look upfield. McLaughlin, who is earning his first start for LouCity here tonight, spending the last 4 years with FC Cincinnati. Gómez, who just had his heels clipped. Williams maybe still showing some frustration from that point-blank miss. Things slowing down just for a moment here after what has been a frantic beginning to this match. And the one goal coming from Cameron Lancaster. Bit of a controversial penalty. Lopez trying to go quickly. In for Flemings. Nico Brett keeps this moving. Here's Williams. Switching it back for Lopez. He'll send a cross in. Tosh up to meet it. They're saying a throw into Birmingham. Birmingham still trying to find those little pockets of space. That last move that led to the header from Williams was, as you mentioned, one of those really nice moves. And they replicate that here towards the end of this first half.
They're doing a much better job with the inclusion of Asiadu and the attacks going forward, as well as Kobayashi. It's gambling a little bit, Josh, but it's paying off. And the pinch that I talked about that you're getting out of Junior Flemings is being reciprocated from J.J. Williams on the right-hand side. The balance defensively lacking a little bit, which is giving Louisville City the ability to start to play through some of that pressure, where Williams will tuck in on one, Fleming's not doing the same on the other. Conversely, when you line up like that, whether one tucks or both, specifically one though, as you come, you leave yourself that quick outlet. So the hopes is when the pressure comes for Birmingham on Louisville, they can force the turnover, and then immediately you can find someone like Flemings or Williams moving forward. Still would like to see more out of Nico Brett. He's kind of lost in translation now when they start to move forward. Suahi and Shantosh doing a good job of playing A, away from him, but then B, if there is a turnover, immediately stepping onto the striker's backside, causing pressure and not allowing any sort of movement to be played into him at all.
And the midfield duo of Kobayashi and Asiadu, we were wondering coming into this match kind of how those two would play positionally tonight. Seems to be they're kind of trading off, moving higher and lower up the field. A good ball in behind by Masoso to find Watts. He tries to cut in field, and he loses out. Lopez playing it down the line for Flemings into space. And back for Hubbard. He's under some pressure, has to get rid of it quick. Kobayashi, cool under pressure there. Trip and a foul. No real argument from Jimmy McLaughlin. Chance for LouCity to look upfield. Gómez gets this out wide. McLaughlin cutting in field. Trying to play that through. Lancaster was not in the area. And Masoso. McCabe, square ball, bouncing into the arms of Van Oekel.
Two pretty good ideas, though, from Louisville City. Cameron Lancaster on the first one thought this ball was going to come up over the top, and you saw him sort of bend this run in hopes that they would be able to pick him out on the back post. And then well done on the tail end of it by Niall McCabe. I really like what's going on the right-hand side between Niall McCabe, Masoso, and Akil Watts. Funny how all three legitimately could make a case to play any one of the positions. Now, you don't want to play Masoso at outside back, but you can. Niall McCabe plays every position on the field minus goalkeeper, and if he had his way, he's got a set of gloves in his locker for sure. And same thing with Akil Watts. You know, Akil Watts outside back, move him into the 6, bump him up into midfield. The ability to then play off of each other, the chemistry they've built over the course of the time they've spent together. Excellent outlet for Danny Cruz so far. A little bit surprised, to be honest, the way that the game has gone for Birmingham Legion, that we haven't seen a bit more out of Johnny Dean on that right side. He's been very quiet.
Bouncing ball into the arms of Van Oekel. And to your last point, Danny Cruz said coming into this match, I feel like I can put any 11 on the field and not miss a beat. He said that's a special feeling and a bit of an expectation. And I don't know if he meant it necessarily where you can just kind of plug and play players, but it seems to be working that way as we get into 3 minutes of stoppage time. That is presented by the Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport.
point on Johnny Dean, by the way. It's not a knock on him. He's been great on the ball, just haven't utilized him a lot, right? I mean, just a second ago, and as we're talking right now, look at the space on the far side of the field. It is wide open. They're just not picking it out. You know, they're trying to stay within these small little squares. Totally respect that. But if Louisville City's giving you it, that's a dare. I'm rolling the dice if I get that opportunity. You just need the recognition from the likes of Kobayashi or Siadu to pick their head up, little touchback, and spray that ball all the way back across, because Jogo's cheating high as well.
Johnny Dean just with 23 total touches tonight. His opposite wing back and Mikey Lopez at 37. That speaks to your point right there.
Some people might look at that and say, 14's, that's not that many touches, as Sean Toast tried to touch that in the back of his own net. But to give you an idea, Asidu, Flemings, Williams, all have less. It's just sort of the way the game goes sometimes, where there are these ebb and flows, and it may seem like a player's on the ball a lot, but a lot of times it's in the vicinity, or it's these little one touches. Obviously, you'd like to keep the play moving as fast as possible, but you have to have balance as well. Good job defensively by Louisville City of finding theirs on that left side. Birmingham Legion just trying to do the same. This is an extremely potent attack that, to be honest, Josh, we haven't seen anything near what they're capable of. Can promise you that. Coaching staff knows it as well from both sides.
I said to you before the game, you look at that front three, I mean, they should be scoring a lot of goals, and just 9 through 8 games coming in, and 6 of those coming from Nico Brett. They have just 3 goal scorers this year.
Now, the difference is, though, is that as you get players up to health, as you get players up to speed, like Junior Flemings, in the match right now, I said to you coming in, the problem they run into is they lack a 10 tonight. No Bruno Lapa. That's the space that you're talking about.
Yeah.
That you can fill it for sure by Flemings, Brett, or Williams pinching in, and they've done that. But to have an omnipresent player in the likes of Bruno Lapa, who can control the tempo, step up into that. Can't buy that type. And Van Oak will have a little fun. Go figure.
Kobayashi will lift this in. Hubbard, sky above everybody and make the catch. We've seen Van Oekel come forward a few times in his time in Birmingham as the first half comes.
Williams to see the frustration, looking for his second goal on the season. Woodwork is the goalkeeper's best friend.
And here we go for the second 45 minutes from Lynn Family Stadium in Louisville. With Devin Kerr, I'm Josh Eastern. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Midweek action here in the USL Championships Central Division. Birmingham trying to come from behind tonight, much like they did the last time these two teams met. It was a penalty scored by Cameron Lancaster. Almost a missed touch there at the back. Cronali there to clean it up. And one sub, it is Ryan James coming on for Mikey Lopez. That substitution is brought to you by MHS Global.
It needed to happen as well for 2 reasons. Mikey Lopez very active in the first half. Fresh legs out at that wingback spot for Tom Sonell, but more importantly, Kavita playing through Ryan James into the feet of Junior Flemings and counteracting the movement on the right side for McCabe, Mesoso, and Watts, who were brilliant in the first half for LouCity.
At what point do you think we see Bruno Lapa tonight, if at all?
I'm still surprised that he didn't start, to be honest. You wonder if something last-minute training-wise happened. We got something similar in the Louisville City lineup. Not going to name the players that took shape in. But that always happens. You know, maybe you feel something going through the walkthrough. Your body just doesn't feel right. Upset stomach. Can also be during warm-ups themselves. if he is to come off the bench, which you have to imagine it's going to happen. 65th, 70th. Also depends on the scoreline, Josh.
Lancaster, back heel for Gómez. He turns the corner. Jonathan Gómez, and it's scored by Masoso. 2-0 LouCity.
It was the right flank in the first half. It's the left side that says hello in the second. Jimmy McLaughlin, his first start of the season for Louisville City, gets it going. Great overlapping run that pulls out the shape by Cameron Lancaster, and then watch the recognition as they invert this thing back to the inside. Little touch off, eyes in the back of the head. Jogo, go to work. Johnny Dean gets caught out of position. And Jonathan Gómez allows the late run from the back post by Napo Masoso. I said he and Niall McCabe were interchangeable. That takes place inside 5 minutes in the second half, and Louisville City double their mark.
And that goal is presented by Kentucky Lottery, fueling imagination, funding education. Kentucky Lottery. So 2-0 to LouCity. It's goal number 1 on the season for Masoso, and assist number 1 on the season for Jonathan Gómez. And talk about a hot prospect. The 17-year-old came up in the FC Dallas Academy, spent some time with Benfica in Portugal, and now finds himself here in Louisville. And he is growing before everyone's eyes as Lancaster goes to the ground. And Corbin Bone said about Jonathan Gómez, his left foot is just like a wand.
Dear Lord. What, are you digging into my newspaper clippings, or?
You still read the newspaper?
I can barely read, Josh. Give me a break.
This portion of tonight's game is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places.
You gotta love the fact that even with the youth national team experiences, I should say, between United States and Mexico for Jonathan Gómez, the recent call up to Mexico's senior squad for Nations League, rumblings of what may happen between the two countries moving forward. He's extremely humble, always wanting to get better every single time. Not that he just steps onto the pitch, but immediately after a match wants to go into review. He gets it.
Flemings going down on the challenge from Watts, and a late whistle. This will be a free kick. Watts thought he got that one just right.
Penny for a thought from the peanut gallery.
You and your peanut gallery, my goodness.
I got to get one in a game, you know?
Devon's Peanut Gallery. Let's get it started.
I wonder if they serve peanuts at the Modelo bar on the other side of the field. 52 feet long. There's got to be some sort of snack back there. Just saying.
Cleanse the palate.
Yeah, little makeshift corner here for Birmingham Legion. This is always one of those fun ones where it's hard not to go after the likes of Hervo, Crognali, and Fanuel Cavita, but given its location, you also want to see where Chris Hubbard lines up if he's going to cheat with only 2 men in the wall. Can you run a little screen, drop it right in front of the goalkeeper? The other thing you can get is if you peel off the backside, you can just serve this up into space.
Brett will curl this towards goal, and Hubbard had to punch that away. It was in that area where, if you're really ambitious, you could go for goal. It looked like Brett was looking for goal number 7 on the season already. Here's Dean. Fleming's on the turn. It was cut off by Gibson. Lancaster holding his lower back, turning into Alex Cronale.
He knows he's in the wrong as well with the contact on Cameron Lancaster on the lower side. Alex Cronale stepping off that back line, normally positioned in between the other two center backs, and Cameron Lancaster just catching the brunt of the big frame right there. Look at the knee. Just a little bit quicker for Cameron Lancaster than Cronale.
A corner kick upcoming, and Gómez will have to slow jog over to take this. It's another Vivify corner kick. Gómez will play this short. He looks to get it back, and now he whips it in. Cleared away by Williams. Lancaster going to ground again. Referee says play on. Birmingham will look upfield. Asidu, Cronale.
Both of these teams have actually done a very good job of removing that initial ball to come right down through the gut of the midfield. Makes it very difficult to build, Josh, when you can't unbalance because you're forced in terms of what direction your attack is going to go. Everybody shifts, you pin yourself in, and you have to rotate all the way back around the other side.
That is Corbin Bone coming on. It's brought to you by MHS Global Above and Beyond. That'll be the end of the night for Niall McCabe on his 150th appearance, as Brian Ownby will also come on and replace Jimmy McLaughlin. That's also brought to you by MHS Global Above and Beyond.
You'd have to imagine that probably one more waiting in the wings, but for right now, Napo Masoso will slide up just a hair. Again, that relationship on the right-hand side for Louisville City has been great, but now Masoso sliding a bit more to the right, trying to pair up next to Cameron Lancaster. Ownby will come to the front line as well.
Lancaster steps in to win that back. First touch for Ownby's a back heel. Back for Lancaster. He'll have a go. It's headed away by Harivo. Another Vivify corner kick. Here it comes towards goal. Van Oekel able to squeeze it. Cronale will throw this back in now for Birmingham. Ownby looking into the attack and just left that behind him. Seydou plays this out wide. Here's Ryan James. Haven't called his name much since coming on. Kobayashi, and for Williams. Here's James. Here comes the cross. It's cleared away by Tosh. Williams, one of those players that was suspended due to a red card when these two teams met in May. That ball did go out of play. And Dean will go quick.
Scouting report leading up to this game, Josh, that was an area that Louisville City felt like they could attack a bit more than others, was this right flank with Johnny Dean. Pin him back. Second-year professional, drafted by Orlando City, of course, didn't sign a contract there.
A little give and go. Williams couldn't get there. Watts did and knocked it out of play.
Was one of our more talked about players in terms of the rookie debut. Bagging 5 assists to his name in 17 appearances last year. He was very active on the right side. His ability as a young pro to understand the space around him to drop in. It's the same process that Akil Watts is going through right now. That's a big ask. First start of the season, first start at outside back since August. You're matched up against the likes of Junior Flemings, now J.J. Williams in the second half.
Here comes the corner kick. It's punched away by Hubbard. Out for the throw-in. Nearing the hour mark. I feel like if Birmingham can just get that one goal, could that give them enough confidence to go and find another? As Seydou sends this in. Williams, or pardon me, it was Flemings who couldn't get there. As Gómez is fouled. Tonight's nugget of the match is brought to you by Chick-fil-A Kentuckiana. 4 players on the USL Championships All-League first team, and of course 2 of those players no longer with the club, but Lancaster and Tosh still holding it down.
Speedy Williams taken off to Miami FC. Ben Loon back to his home club, although currently on loan with Phoenix Rising.
Low ball in. It'll be cleared away by Harivo. It was Luntz who actually ended up on Team of the Week this past week for his performance against Tacoma.
Looking at the team right now, that's heck of company to keep. Augustine Williams finished second in the Golden Boot behind Junior Fleming, Solomon Asante, Kenardo Forbes, Bruno Lapa, Forrest Lasso, Kalen Ryden, Van Kiazil now in San Diego. Star-studded cast right there.
As you'd expect, right? It's a vivified corner kick. Gómez again, headed away by Cronale. Here's Gómez, cutting in field. Del Piccolo, trying to get this back, keeps it moving. Suwahi, Lancaster, and headed away by Kavita. Seydou will find Flemings, and he has some space to work down the right. Only one red jersey up ahead. Flemings will do this himself. Deflected cross, and now some help from Dean. This portion of tonight's game brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places.
And this is where I'm talking about the lack of options within the interior. J.J. Williams, although he and Fleming's willing to occupy that space, Fleming's the better look for sure. Bruno Lapa is really the magician in those tight-knit spaces. And though he hasn't been great in 2021, still a better option moving forward right now for Birmingham Legion, who just outside 25 minutes to go need to find some sort of spark in this attack. Too many one-offs with this team moving forward, where you see Fleming's just moments ago isolated in a 1v3 or 4. Movement out on the wings. They've got to find a way to bring this thing inside out, because it's not just one player, Josh. It's the step in, then they react, creates more space on the wings, then you can stretch vertically, gives you a multi-dimensional look going forward.
Here's Williams. Trying to play this wide. Will Flemings get there? Extra burst of pace, and he does keep it in play. Flemings trying to play this ball in. It's deflected away as far as Asidu. Here's Nico Brett charging at this back line for Williams. There's a chance to lay that off for Ryan James on the far side. And now James will receive it. Send a deflected cross in, and it's out for a corner kick.
This has got to be a shout by Ryan James, because even if J.J. Williams doesn't see him, he'll be able to hear him. So much space on the back post. And for the substitute, fresh legs, clear mind. Not only has he got to be more active, which we're starting to see, he's got to find a way to communicate better, because this was a golden opportunity wasted.
Here comes the in-swinger. Out of the way by Del Piccolo. James will keep this alive. And will find the space once again on the left. Kobayashi gets the cross away. Hubbard, a jump, but that was headed out of play. And a sub coming on now for LouCity is Cameron Lancaster. One of tonight's goal scorers will be replaced by Kyle Gregg, who is making his 200th appearance and just the 6th player all-time to earn 200 regular season appearances. That sub brought to you by MHS Global, above and beyond.
25th minute penalty by Cameron Lancaster got us going. Still not exactly sure as to whether or not it was inside the box, but how about this man right here? Kyle Gregg joins the likes of Luke Vercoloni, Dane Kelly, your USL Championship all-time leading scorer at 89 goals, Taylor Mueller, Father Time Jorge Herrera, since retired, and another LouCity faithful, George Davis IV, stands alone, 235 for George Davis. Just one more season to go for Kyle Gregg to catch him, if he plays in every game.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's going to have to play a lot. Here's Dean making that run upfield. Gets the cross in the middle, and Brett couldn't get there. James does. Another one coming in. Williams goes down. The shot by Dean is blocked. And Kobayashi will retrieve. Asidu. He'll take a low drive, and it is out of play. And Williams still arguing for that penalty just a few moments ago. Maybe a good shout there. Let's see what it was.
Ryan James does a good job, slow this down, gets to the byline, picks out the back post, and gets caught just inside the box. He comes over the back shoulder of Brian Ownby. Also, the arm, though, was being held, and the back shoulder by J.J. Williams. The argument from Tom Sohn asking for the referee one time.
So 3 subs coming on. Junior Flemings will be one of those coming off. Nico Brett, another. It'll be Jaden Cervania coming on. And the other one to come off is Daigo Kobayashi. All those subs brought to you by MHS Global. So Lapa, Cervania, and Eli Cronale all come on.
You have to imagine, given the roles that they're playing, that this is going to tweak their shape once again. Wouldn't be overly surprised if they stay with the spacing and the wingback style look for Ryan James and Johnny Dean. But you can cheat now. You still create the 3, and you can bump numbers going forward because you have Haribo there.
Lapa goes down. Free kick to Birmingham. If you're on the road or can't watch the match, you're on Sirius XM-FC, North America's only 24/7 source of soccer radio, featuring Ray Hudson, Tony Meola, Rodney Marsh, and the brand new USL All Access, featuring Mike Watts and Devin Kerr every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Fans of the USL can listen to the best matches of the week, along with action from MLS, the Premier League, the Champions League, and more. Sirius XM-FC channel 157 on the radio and the app. Cervania. Some fresh legs on for Birmingham. Can they affect this final 20 minutes? The last time LouCity kept 2 straight regular season clean sheets, you have to go all the way back to early September of last year, taking down Indy 11 2-0. Before that, it was a 3-0 win over St. Louis. They did also do it in the playoffs against Pittsburgh and St. Louis. Oh, and looking ahead at what is to come for LouCity, it's brought to you by COSAIR Charities. Help a child in our community now at cosair.org/donate. At FC Tulsa next week.
How about FC Tulsa starting slow? Roger Smith, who scored that worldie a couple weeks ago against FC Tulsa in the 4-1 victory, scored 7 minutes into their game tonight, but good recovery. Rodrigo da Costa in the 42nd, Marlone in the 45th. 2-1 at halftime. Louisville City on the road now, away from the friendly confines of Lynn Family Stadium. Have to imagine they've got at least 2 of those in the bag. I'm sure Danny Cruz is looking at a way to bag 15 points.
I just look ahead at the month of September, and it's 5 straight road games.
Yeah, it's a lot.
How does this team react to that? And that's in the dog days of the season, when you need those points.
Gone are the days of 11 out of 16 in the 2020 Group E, where they're all home matches.
Exactly.
That's not happening again.
As Gómez trying to put this one away. Like he slipped, but it's a corner kick anyway. to vivify corner kick. Corbin Bone will swing this in towards the near post and cleared away by Williams. Birmingham trying to clear this away. They'll fall for Tosh. Sawahi looked like he was tangled up with James. It's out for a goal kick. And that'll give us a chance to look at tonight's trivia question. It's brought to you by Tony's Break and Alignment. You came up with this question. You ask it.
This is for you, buddy. Louisville beat Birmingham in May 2019. Now, they've played since, and it was a 1-1. But May 11th, 2019, Louisville City traveled to BBVA Field. They won 3-0. Who had the assist on the opening goal? I'll give you a hint. Rasmussen scored the goal in the 6th minute.
McCabe, Jimenez, or Speedy Williams? You know, I have no idea, but because Jimenez is from my home state, I'm going to go with Oscar Jimenez. As this rolls through for Hubbard.
You sure about that? There's some big names up there. Big names. That was prime Niall McCabe season. 18-19 were glory years for him.
I'm feeling it. Oscar Jimenez.
I'm sure they'd love to have him back on the field right now.
I'm sure they
Whipping out
would.
some assists.
I'm sure they would.
Speedy recovery to Oscar Jimenez back home. Seems both of these teams are trying to get back to health and full strength.
Battle of attrition. First foul is a free kick to Louisville.
Let's have a little bit more fun. Not necessarily trivia, although I'm going to pick your brain for what seems to be a multiple choice answer.
First, I was right.
I know.
There we go.
I tried to mislead you, and I apologize.
No. I was sticking to my guns there.
Lucky Kasana had an assist as well.
Really?
As did, you know, the third assist was?
Oh, my goodness.
Sean Francis.
Wow, all right. Here's Gómez. Low drive in and cleared away.
Take a peek at the Central Division right now for me. Birmingham, Louisville, Atlanta, United, 2. FC Tulsa, Indy at 5. Jonathan Gómez back to work with.
Ownby sends this in, cleared away, and Asidu will look to carry out. Look at that pressure still laid on here for Louisville. That'll be a foul, though. So pleading his case.
2 questions for you.
Okay, bring them on.
You have to pick one right now out of the Central to drop out. If playoffs were to start tomorrow, who drops out and who gets in?
Of who is in the top 4 right now?
One can drop out, one can come in. Or you could keep it the same.
I'm saying Atlanta's dropping out, Indy's going in.
Okay.
I think Indy will figure it out. You said they have good players, they just weren't performing.
Agreed.
I think they're going to perform.
Okay.
For whoever that new man is.
Okay. Rumor has it it's going to be, at least in the meantime, assistant Max Rogers will step into that role.
All right. Well, in the meantime, fans, head to Twitter to vote on tonight's Dr. Mark Lennon Associates Man of the Match. Poll will be open for the next 10 minutes. Vote now at twitter.com/LouCity. I'll ask you the same question. Who would you pick?
Well, you're probably not going to like my answer.
That means I'll like it even more.
My gut says to me that Atlanta United 2 will not continue their form.
Yep.
So I would probably be inclined to lean in your direction as well.
Yep.
Also the fact that they've played 2 more games than Louisville, Tulsa. 3 more than Memphis. 3 more than Or excuse me, one more than OK. I mean, they played more games than almost everyone.
And I think they played OKC twice. And if you're talking about teams that have struggled so far, to say the least, that's one of them.
So is Birmingham.
It's fair. But I will say, putting points up, regardless of where you are in the season, points on the table, that's the biggest thing. As Greg wins this back for Louisville. I know Louisville has 2 games in hand on this Birmingham side, but still got to go out and earn those points. And tonight, they're no doubt earning them as Ownby went down. Referee says play on. Ronali with the long switch of play. Cervania cuts this back for Lapa.
It's not a bad build by Birmingham Legion. Bruno Lapa was actually available about 15 seconds prior, and then even as the ball on the switch comes to the far side, it's got to be quicker. The thought process has to speed itself up.
James trying to let that run through for Williams. It's out for a corner kick.
Those are the little things, Josh, that Tom Sohn recognizes. You know, picking his brain about what form they're in. Coming off the victory against OKC, listen, not happy as of late with our lack of possession. Could make the same argument tonight. He said it was hard on the players and the staff this week. 4-game win streak. I was not a happy man to be around. That quick decision making was some of the stuff that he was leaning into, or lack thereof, because Lapa's on. If you don't play it, you close down the option.
Here comes the corner kick, driven in.
He did go on to talk about the fact that they're still extremely talented, and the fact that they're not playing at the highest level right now isn't the end of the world. Of course, they're going to build into this. But to not be playing where he wants them, not even on a 1 to 10 with the handball, on a 1 to 10, even if he was at a 6.5 or a 7, right in that area, they're still extremely talented, and they still have 4 wins under their belt.
As Antoine Opino will come on, replacing Paolo Del Piccolo. Sub brought to you by MHS Global, above and beyond, as Alexi Suahi gets the captain's armband for the final 10 minutes. That'll have to be the final sub of the match for LouCity. For the W, the USL recently announced the formation of the USL-W League, providing an increased equity and opportunity for women looking to pursue careers in soccer, both on and off the pitch. Comprised of clubs from across the Championship, League One, League Two, and new expansion markets, the W League is set to begin play in 2022 in more than 30 communities across the U.S. Head over to USLWleague.com to learn more. Here's Ownby. And now Gómez. Played back for Suahi. He'll try to keep this in play, at least prevent a corner kick, and he does that.
Birmingham Legion have only been able to, as you mentioned, put 9 in the back of the net on the season. A bit more concerning as we approach the end of this match. Only twice have they been able to bag double-digit goals. They are in the previous 2 matches. They played the 2-1 victory over FC Tulsa, as well as a match this past Saturday at Taft Stadium, taking down OKC 2-1, the winner by J.J. Williams in the 83rd minute.
Jake Roof will come on for Anderson Asidu. So brought to you by MHS Global. Roof comes on, and it's his third appearance on the season. Kavita steps in. Cervania. Cervania shoots, and that was always curling wide.
This is going to be an interesting test for Johnny Dean, who's being moved into the interior with Crognale and Bruno Lapa. For Jaden Cervania, the continued progression at such a young age to find an impact at this level professionally, approaching his 20th birthday on July 16th. Former Dallas and Houston product, of course, his brother Brandon. A bit more seasoned when it comes to the senior level.
Chance to look upfield, in behind for Greg, and it's saved by Van Oekel, who's way outside of his area now. He's just cleared away, and now Ownby. Deflected cross. Need to be very careful not to touch that with his hand.
He was outside the box, I can tell you right now.
I wonder if that went off his chest or his hand. We'll take a look at that in just a moment.
He was definitely outside the box. To your point, though, it all comes down to what body part did it hit. Great recognition by Van Oekel, to be fair, because Kyle Gregg, number 3, setting his sights on the night for LouCity.
Cross comes in, headed away by Crognale.
Good tackle.
Swahi gets there in front of Roof, and now it's Eli Crognale. Be a whistle and a foul. Let's go back and look at that Van Oekel situation.
It's a heck of a ball played through by Corbin Bone. Kyle Gregg peels off, just tucks in behind Haribo. He's well outside the box. It's really difficult from that angle. You got a better look when we flip it. Does he catch the arm? That looks like the hip, right?
I think torso, yeah.
The human wall, Matt Van Oekel. Heck of a save. Whether he meant to or not, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt.
As Greg went down, play continues. Here's Roof. Crognale for Williams. There's Crognale again getting it out wide. Roof. Crognale lifts this in. It'll be taken in by Alex Crognale. Well, because J.J. Williams didn't play in the first meeting between these two sides, it's a welcome home of sorts after his time playing for Johan Sedergren at Kentucky, just a few miles down the road in Lexington.
He was part of that Kentucky squad that made the run in 2018.
Yes.
On the way to the Elite Eight. Lost to Maryland 1-0. Of course, that team in 2018 from Maryland, not too bad.
Went on to win the title.
Not a bad team whatsoever.
Do you think this result says more about Birmingham or more about Louisville at the end of the day?
Birmingham.
Cervania surveys the scene, bouncing into the arms of Hubbard.
Because of the fact that it's at home for Louisville, that adds the expectation for, you don't want to say an automatic victory, but the opportunity to gain 3 points a bit easier.
It's Jonathan Gómez, our man of the match, presented by Dr. Lin and Associates.
Would say that, to be honest, they're just a better team. It's simple as that. I would argue that for the players that they have, in terms of overall skill set, you could sway the argument, especially on the offensive side of the ball for Birmingham. I talked to you about the lack of depth on the back line. That's a concern for me, especially within the wingback system. Those 3 center backs, you know, one gets hurt. You're already playing a makeshift holding midfielder there right now. Thompson understands that this is a journey and it's going to be a long and winding road. And this is just a bend that, you know, maybe they turned onto a back road. They didn't necessarily want to be on this one, right? The fact that they have an opportunity over the next couple of games to maybe send messages to the league. The difficult part of that, and I say that because of the schedule itself, right? Where there's this, okay, they're going to host Austin, but then on the road to Miami. They're going to host Atlanta too, then on the road to Indy. It's back and forth literally till August 22nd. That's a lot of matches where there's no real, we're going to set camp, this is our base, let's get set up and go have some fun.
As Cronale is given a yellow card on the challenge. It's a Vivify yellow card issued to Alex Cronale.
11 total, Josh. That's 33% of your season is spent every other week traveling.
Yes.
Not many teams around this league have to say that. Now, other teams have longer road trips, but still, that's hard. That's hard on your body. It's hard on your mind.
Well, that's why I keep bringing up that stretch in September for LouCity. 5 straight on the road. At least you can kind of form your mind around that we're just going to be moving around all the time.
This does give you a real good idea, though, for Louisville City. Their ability to control a match, with or without the lead. Because even in the first half, the attack for Birmingham was disjointed. Now, we talked about what they could do. That didn't necessarily happen, though, did it? Williams, Flemings dropping down into the pocket. But as you start to mend one area in the absence of a presence in an attacking midfielder role, you open up another can of the worms on the exterior. So you were asking a ton out of Mikey Lopez, who defensively didn't do terribly. Then you bring Ryan James in, trying to manage his workload. It's a lot to handle here.
Ownby, saved by Van Oekel. And stoppage time is presented by the Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport. It's 4 minutes. Isn't that crazy? It's a third less stoppage time, or a third of the stoppage time we had in the first meeting when we had 12 minutes at the end of the second half.
Just pure disappointment.
Well, you don't want to stick around for 8 more minutes?
Next to you?
All right, end of conversation. As James goes down. A celebratory mood at Lynn Family Stadium tonight. We'll be back home at the end of the month to take on Indy 11, another edition of Lipa FC. Is there a consolation here at the end for Birmingham? Doesn't look like it. As we get into the final minute of play, LouCity getting back on track here tonight. After 2 straight losses, it's about to be 2 straight wins. The final few seconds. Birmingham coming on the road tonight just didn't quite have enough. And there's the final whistle. LouCity